Cinco de Mayo night. It's college night along with Budweiser Super Late Models, the Engine Pro Super Stocks, the VROA Modifieds, the Midwest Compacts, and Mini Wedges were all in action.
Up first to kick things off was the Napa Filters Vintage Modified feature event, and it was Brian Buchema and Gene First leading the field down to the green flag for the first of two 20-lap main events. Brian Buchema, your pole setter, led for the first 4 laps. That was until Todd Collin took the lead on lap 5, and he paced the field until 6 laps to go. When Tom Boorsma took the lead on lap number 15, he would bring his son Ryan Boorsma with him, and the race was on between the Boorsma racing family. In the end, though, it was father Tom Boorsma taking the victory, his first of the 2019 season. Ryan Boorsma, his son, finishing in second. Defending series champion Randy Pearson was third. Terry Byrne was fourth, and Jason Burris rounding out the top 5.
The Engine Pro Super Stocks were up next, and we went all green flag racing. To start it out, it was Joe Jones and Dave Hart from the front row, but as the attrition went on, it was Seth Moody for his first race of the season. He snuck past Brian Van Zalen at lap number 14 and never looked back. That's how they'd wrap it up. Seth Moody with his first feature win of the season. Van Zalen would be second, and his brother Joe Moody would have to settle for third. Super late model action was up next, and it was a good one. A full field of cars ready to go at it with Lauren Bush-Sokolowski and veteran Tim DeVos on the front row. We went all green flag racing. DeVos had some good runs along with a lot of other drivers. Campbell couldn't find his way through. Lee Van Dyke, Van Heitzman, and others all had a shot at it, but when it was all said and done, it was the Tomster, former champ Tom Thomas comes up. He gets past DeVos midway through the race and never looked back. DeVos would have to settle for second. Nick DeLongpre, great run for him in third. Van Heitzman would be fourth, and Brian Campbell would round out the top 5.
The Midwest Compact Touring Series presented by RevX Oil was up next for a pair of heat races, and it was a pair of out-of-state invaders taking home the wins. In the first heat race, the number 32 of Phil Maloff was your victor, making the long haul from Minnetish Waters, Wisconsin. He was the victor in heat race number 1, while in heat race number 2, Webster, New York invader Jacob Gustafson would bring home the win, as Gustafson, making the long haul from just outside of Buffalo, grabs heat race number 2. The Mini Wedges 6 to 9-year-olds feature event was up next, and in the end, it was defending track champion Ethan Hoekstra picking up the victory. The 9-year-old took the lead with just 2 laps to go to score the victory over Tanner Greenbeyer, who was second, led the first 13 laps. Lindsey Drolema was third, AJ White was fourth, and Carter Wolf rounded out the top 5. In the second Mini Wedges feature, this time for the 10 to 14-year-olds, it was a 33 of Tyler Davis leading the field for the first 5 laps. In the end, it was Brayden Cook taking the feature win for the 10 to 14-year-olds in the Mini Wedges ahead of Brody Drogemo, who finished second. Tyler Davis was third, Elliott Davis was fourth, and Hudson Pease rounding out the top 5.
Vintage Modifieds were back at it for their second feature race of the night. Another full field, 18 cars. Perry Byrne spins for the lead at lap number 3. While challenging for the lead, he was able to recover to return to action after that. At lap number 16, Gene First blows the motor, put us under a red flag condition after some soak-up had to be put down in turns 3 and 4. Upon the restart, the field was tight. The Madhouse restart, but tragedy on the front stretch. Cody Lean loses and overcorrects hard into the front stretch wall. Randy Pearson goes airborne, gets a piece of it. Terry Byrne and others pile in. When it was all said and done, 6 and 7 cars were involved in the melee. When it all shook out, though, Tom Boorsma did it again and beat his son again. It's the Boorsmas. Tom and Ryan 1 and 2. Jason Burris finished third. Joe Mazie recovered to finish fourth, and Brian Buchema rounded out the top 5. The Engine Pro Super Stocks took to their final event of the season and another green flag run, and what a night it was for Dave Hart and the Terry Bonnie look-alike. Side by side with Jerry Shepard on the start, Hart took off and never looked back. Van Zalen might have had a shot at him for a bit, but when it was all said and done, Hart was hooked up and he cruised to his first feature win in several years in the sharp-looking number 5 car. Dave Hart wins over Joe Moody. His brother Seth Moody would be third. Brian Van Zalen and Scotty Root would round out the top 5.
The Midwest Compact Touring Series presented by RevX Oil rolled out for their Catered Creations 30, a big 30-lap main event paying $1,000 to win. 16-year-old Face Shook started on the pole alongside Brock Sweeter, and it will be Sweeter taking the lead and leading the first 2 laps. Jacob Gustafson took the lead on lap number 3, and he paced the field until lap 21 when contact with a lap car sent him spinning off and causing a melee coming out of turn number 2. That would give the lead to Ryan Hoffman, the 117 machine, and the Crown Point, Indiana driver would make no mistake the rest of the way as he held off hard charges from Chad Gray to score a $1,000 payday. Chad Gray was second, Corey Holzlander finished third, Phil Maloff was fourth, and Face Shook rounding out the top 5.
The Budweiser Super Late Models would wrap up the final feature of the evening. As they take off, Ken Wama spins and loses it all by himself on the backstretch at lap number 1, setting up a 34-lap dash to the finish. From there, we stayed green. Brian Campbell slowly but surely worked his way up past Scott Thomas, worked his way up past Lee Van Dyke and Nate Walton, and when he got in front of a leader, Lee Van Dyke, halfway through the event, he never looked back. The 47 cruised. He made it look easy. Brian Campbell back to the victory lane for the first time in 2019 at Berlin Raceway. Lee Van Dyke would be second, Scott Thomas third, his brother Tom fourth, and Nate Walton would round out a good top 5 finish.
Coming up on Saturday, May 11th, is our Mother's Day holiday weekend celebration featuring the first of 4 appearances by the iCar Sweet Manufacturing main event Outlaw Super Late Models. They'll be in action for their first of 4 races of the 2019 racing season. The model coverall modified and Coors Light Sportsman return after a couple weekends off. They'll be trailed by the 4 cylinders. Racing starts at 6:30. For more information, go to BerlinRaceway.com or follow us on all our social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.